Our Final Fantasy Tactics girl is finally back. Agrias has returned as of last night with her lost chapters, her EX Plus and rework level 70 Awakening, alongside of Faris's rework level 70 Awakening and her EX Plus. So let's go ahead and jump the gun right out the way. Faris is actually a pretty good unit now, with the addition of her rework and level 70 and EX Plus. Basically, her cannon fire now does HP damage, does a few more hits. Her EX is a water, lightning, and wind attack that does split damage. And really, the only real thing about this is it gives her a new frame buff. You know, that's pretty much the usual. And it also gives her a new symbol above her head for Dragonstorm. This symbol above her head will increase everyone's overflow limit by 20%, and also after every action that the enemy takes, they will be hit by a 2-hit water elemental attack. I believe it follows up with HP damage. I could be wrong on that. I haven't really checked it out, but I'm pretty sure it's only a 2-hit brave attack that batteries the party by 100% of the damage dealt. Standard stuff as per usual, but this time she gets access to that special unit, that special symbol, at 3 out of 3. So she's definitely a heavy investment. You do have to sink the ingots into getting her 3 out of 3. Other than that, that's pretty much it to Faris's kit. Her rework pretty much just gave her some more usages. I believe on her water, on her cannon fire, the additional HP damage was very much needed to increase her viability and everything, and she just hits a lot harder. The debuffs are all the same. She's still applying the same debuffs, and that EX is actually makes her a pretty good option in the forms of a battery. The only unfortunate thing is the EX is a slow charge rate, even at max base limit break and max EX plus. It's still relatively slow, so which is understandable considering that everything it offers to the party. It does hit pretty hard and whatnot. And the fact that it is such a powerful brave battery mechanic as well built into it, you know, it is pretty understandable as to why it has a slow recharge rate. So the only thing is you aren't going to be relying on that too heavily when it comes to damage output. So that does affect her as a brave battery as well, but it's a nice touch to have it in there, you know, built into the mechanic as well. So how is Faris for the Chaos era? You know, pretty much. Faris, when she first dropped on the JP side, she was fantastic. Everyone fell in love with her, and she just kind of fell off. Like, everyone was so excited for her EX Plus and everything, and then she just kind of disappeared. And I think that's pretty much because of the lineup of characters that we're having, pretty much following directly after her. We're getting Y'shtola, who's coming sometime this week. We're getting, you know, powerful trapper and debuff characters in the form of Emperor, who's coming next month, and things like that. I feel like she just kind of got outshined really quickly. Not to say that she was power crept pretty quickly, because what she offers to the party is actually pretty good and unique. And while her damage isn't the highest, she still serves the party as a powerful debuffer with a brave battery mechanic that fits well, especially if she's fighting dual bosses. So the thing is like, I feel like she's an underrated character. I feel like she has her importance in her own way. Am I going to say that she's a diet you must pull for this character? I'm going to say no. Overall importance, I'm going to say no. But as for like an under the radar kind of a character, I feel like Faris is a very good option, especially if you choose to gun for her specifically or to build her up specifically. If you're aiming for her actually over Agrias, it's actually understandable. Faris offers a lot to the party and a lot to the team. Her auras, you know, she supplies some pretty okay auras, but you know, she's another unit that raises everyone's max overflow by an additional 20%. You know, she's another fantastic unit who gets to supply the party in what she does best. So overall importance for the Chaos era, I'm gonna give it a no. Like, if you do choose to pass on Faris, like, you can live without her. She's not like a diehard character who's gonna make content easier, really, by any means, but she will help you out if you do have her, and I believe she's important in her own way. So yeah, and then we're gonna go on to who I believe is the main prize of this banner is Agrias. So Agrias to get a rework as well, which is it's so much needed. It was so needed. It was so needed. Her Knight's Pride now follows up with a single brave hit, but that single brave hit does a lot because it offers more brave shaping. The Knight's Pride did get an additional use. Judgment Blade did get an increase in brave potencies as well as overflow. Oh, it feels so good to say it. She finally got the overflow that she needed on that thing. Whew, it's so good. So good. I love it. I love it a lot. Anyway, what also makes her rework so good with her level 70 awakening is the fact that her C65, it's called Debuff Success Attack Up. Pretty much it marginally increases the rates of applying a debuff, which pretty much guarantees the fact that you're going to paralyze them with Judgment Blade. That is incredible, and she gets 2 uses out of that, so that's guaranteed paralysis, on top of the fact that, you have a 15% chance of inflicting paralysis on all enemies as she attacks. Hallowed Bolt, long story short, with her EX plus, 2 out of 3, she'll start with Brave, which is her, the frame buff that she gets from Knight's Pride, and a new frame buff called Holy Sword, which will increase, the stats and everyone's max overflow by 20%. It's becoming a trend, as you can see. And then 3 out of 3, the brave hits for Hallowed Bolt gets increased to 10. A huge damage increase as well as an overflow increase to, I believe, 180%. I believe so. But yeah. So, pretty simple rework. Agrias really didn't need much. She really just needed that overflow and, the additional hits from for Knight's Pride. That was pretty much it. She got exactly everything that she needed. So, how is Agrias for the Chaos Era? How important is she? Well, what I'm going to say is Agrias is a jack of all trades, master of none. And what I mean by that is Agrias pretty much offers everything that you need to the party. She offers attack boost. She offers HP regen. She offers brave regen. I think the only thing that she doesn't offer to the party is initial brave up and defense. That's pretty much it. She raises everyone's max brave. She's increasing overflow, things like that. She's a control character. She's offering HP silence for magic attacks. She's offering paralysis. Agrias is bringing so much to the table, but what I mean by she's a master of none is, while yes, she's bringing a lot to the table, none of it's really top notch. It's not like her auras and whatnot that she offers to the party are not really minimal, but they're not fantastic. So the thing with Agrias is she actually complements really well with other support characters that helps, raise that stuff, because the thing with Agrias is all of that stuff that she's supplying to the party is either through an aura in her crystal passive or in her brave frame buff, which is supplying as another aura. So she's only giving she isn't even giving the party any buffs. She's supplying it as an aura through a singular buff, so you can run her alongside of another support character like Ramza, Y'shtola, the Lisette, if you wanted to. She works best with paired with other support characters, because she supplies some damage as well. She's more of an attacking support character, which is really nice. And then, while the paralysis is nice, it's only a 15% chance, so it is kind of low. So it's nothing to really rely on. The only thing that's a guaranteed about her is, when you use her C65 or if you're using Hallowed Bolt. That's pretty much it. And the thing about her Hallowed Bolt is it does recharge slow. So you do have to pick and choose when you want to use it, and you have to be careful with it. Because if you use it at the wrong time against a magic enemy and you're stopping the wrong attack, hey, you could be in some trouble. So all you really have to do is just make sure you're utilizing it properly. And that's pretty much the trend with Agrias. So when Agrias came out in the JP side, everyone loved her. And then pretty much kind of a month later, things started getting a little harder, and people noticed that Agrias wasn't really performing. And they immediately started saying, oh, she's trash. She's not good. So, but the thing with Agrias is when she first comes out, yes, she's absolutely fantastic. She'll work in just about any situation you put her in. But as content gets harder, you're going to start noticing a trend with her. You need to make sure you're using her properly. If you don't use her properly, and if you don't use her in the best situation, she's not going to perform. Agrias works well against dual bosses. She can perform against single bosses, but and don't even bother bringing her against triple bosses, because you're just cutting Judgment Blade's damage down far too low, considering Judgment Blade does split damage. She can perform okay against a single boss, not at all against triple bosses. She works best with double bosses, and you have to make sure you're complimenting Agrias as much as she's complimenting the rest of your team. You have to make sure you're bringing along someone who can boost her up even further so she can perform as best as she can on her attacking side, as well as supporting the party as best as she can. She needs someone there to assist. And as long as you have someone there to assist and make her better, she's going to perform for you better. That's pretty much the thing. You have to make sure you are complimenting Agrias to get the best out of her. If you just go in there thinking that, Agrias is a support unit, she's going to do what I need her to do, and bring her as the only support in 2 DPS, sure, that'll work for now, but it's just not going to work in the future. You're going to need the additional help for Agrias. The additional help is so needed to make sure she's performing at her best. So you have to keep that in mind when you are using her. No to triple bosses. Yes to dual bosses, and make sure you are complimenting her as much as you can, so you are getting the absolute best out of her. If you aren't doing so, and you have built her up, and you just jump to the conclusion that she's trash because you yourself aren't using her properly, that's on you. You wasted your ingots because you're using a character in the wrong way. So just make sure you use her properly, and Agrias will shine for you for no tomorrow. So I'm going to say yes, Agrias is important for the Chaos era, because if you can use her properly, she'll get the job done, and she'll do it with flying colors. Especially if you bring her against magical attackers, she's going to shut them down, and the control that she offers to the team, as well as boosting up the rest of the team, is just, honestly, it's not too good to miss, but it's so helpful that you'll love it. So yeah, I'm gonna say Agrias is important for the Chaos era. Is she Ultimisia level important? I don't think so. But she does have her own importance in her own way, and like I said, just make sure you use her right, and she'll shine for you like no tomorrow. But yeah, so that'll pretty much do it, guys. I do would like to apologize while we wrap up this video. I have been a little bit on the lazy side. Like I have mentioned, I have started a new job, and it's not really that I have a lack of time or anything. It's just I'm kind of in a little bit of a slump with my games and everything. I'm working, I'm making sure I keep up. I have Agrias already built up. I'm missing her boards. I'm going to start working on that soon. And I am making sure I'm doing my chaos clear so I can keep up with the ingots and everything like that. But I have hit just a little bit of a slump personally. So please be patient with me while you guys wait for me to start putting out better and more content for the channel. I'll pick myself up hopefully pretty soon. But yeah, thank you for being patient. More content will be coming. This week is going to be a good week. We're going to be seeing Y'shtola, I believe, at the end of the week. I believe next Sunday. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.